As we start 2024, I thought I'd look ahead at some bucket list roller coasters that I really want to get on. Okay, first up we have two coasters that are sort of sisters. The first one is Iron Gwazi, a ride over in Busch Gardens that I almost got on in 2022. I was stupid enough to leave it till the last ride of the day. Florida thunderstorms, didn't get on it. But I will be back at Busch Gardens in February this year, so I will get on this ride. The first ride I get on, I am not missing out. Desperate to get on Iron Gwazi. And the second ride that's related to this is over in Poland, and that is Zadra. Another amazing looking RMC that I really want to get on. Don't know if I'll get to it this year, but certainly on my bucket list. And next up we have a somewhat extreme coaster. And I've been on Red Force in Ferrari Land over in Spain, but in Ferrari Land over in the Middle East we have Formula Rossa, the fastest coaster currently on the planet. I would love to get on this ride. Don't know when I'm next going to be in the Middle East, but it's definitely on my list. And the next one that's on my list is mainly because it's a very different experience. It's a ride, I think it's the ride that bankrupt aerodynamics. I might be wrong on that one, but it is of course X2, which is a rather extreme coaster in terms of the spinning, although I believe it's a controlled spin depending on where you are on the track. It just looks absolutely mental, and I would love to get on that ride. Now, I've already mentioned this park. I already said I want to go over to Poland and get to Energylandia for Zadra, but there is so many coasters in that park. That park is just phenomenal. If you look at how quickly it has expanded, every year there is at least one more coaster. And another one that is in that park that I really want to get on is Hyperion. Looks amazing. Another ride that opened just 2023 that I missed out on, and I hope possibly to get on in 2024, and that is Tutatis in Park Asterix. Again, another fantastic ride, multi-launch, spikes, switch tracks, just looks fantastic. I did get on Escape from Gotham City, which was another Intamin ride that came out in 2023. This one missed my list last year. Fingers crossed I get on it soon. Now, a ride that isn't even open yet but is on my bucket list is also in a park that I have not yet visited, and the park itself is on my bucket list, and that is Voltron over in Europa Park. That park looks phenomenal. Obviously run by the Mack family. It is just another action-packed park full of rides, and Voltron is the first of their new Striker model, and it looks insane. It has the world's steepest launch. This ride features 2.2 seconds of continuous weightlessness, has 4 launches, 7 inversions. It just looks phenomenal. Next one is a coaster that I know I'm getting on. I should be on this in late February, early March. It is a new stand-up coaster that launched over in SeaWorld. That is of course Pipeline Coaster. Looks very unique. Certainly everybody that I've seen that's ridden this ride has been very complimentary of it. Typically standing coasters, historically they've been quite uncomfortable, but it looks like this new train has a very unique sort of suspension system, and everybody says it is fantastic. Staying over in America, next one I have is over in Cedar Point, and that is of course the reimagining of Top Thrill Dragster into Top Thrill 2. Now, I never got on Top Thrill Dragster, clearly never will, but Top Thrill 2 definitely looks like an interesting experience. It's very unique to see Zamperla doing something quite this thrilling. Typically they're the family-friendly flat rides, so I'm curious to see how well this ride actually is received when it opens. But the concept, and from what we've seen so far, just looks amazing, and I would love to get over there. In fact, I'd love to get to Cedar Point. It's a park I have never visited. This gives me a reason to get out there. And the next one I've got is a little strange, or some people will think this is a little strange, and that is Magnum XL-200. The reason for this one is because I've ridden the big one many times. Blackpool is my nearest park, and it was inspired by Magnum XL-200. Famously, Jeffrey Thompson said,
"Well, about 4 years ago I rode on what was then the tallest roller coaster in the world, which is an amusement park called Cedar Point in Ohio. It was a first roller coaster at 200 feet, and it was just the most amazing roller coaster I have ever been on in my life. It was just enormous, and the first drop was just spectacular. And I said, we must have one of these, but if it's in Blackpool, we'll make it bigger."
What's interesting is that a lot of people don't consider it to be better. I've seen people refer to the big one as a monorail, which may be a little bit extreme, and there's more airtime hills from what I believe on Magnum XL-200, so I would love to get on Magnum XL-200 and see for my own eyes what inspired the big one. And the last one I've got on my list both excites me and terrifies me at the same time, and it is a coaster that probably still a couple of years away. I don't think we've got an opening date for it yet, albeit it is being constructed as we speak, and that is Falcon's Flight over in Six Flags Qiddiya. This thing is set to break all the records, to be the tallest, the fastest, the longest coaster, probably the most expensive if it doesn't bankrupt the park and Intamin. Just looks bonkers, and if I'm ever in the Middle East, it is a park that I would love to go to and a ride that I probably will be very nervous of, but I would so go on that ride. So that's been my selection of bucket list coasters. I'd love to hear yours down below. I did mention that last one is probably going to be the most expensive coaster. If you're curious to see other expensive coasters, check that list out over there. I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad. See you in the next one.